Everybody shows off the cars, the watches, the freedom, the lifestyle that e-commerce absolutely can provide you. But there's another side to e-commerce, the dark side. Now, I've been in e-commerce for over 6.5 years. I've generated over £4.5 million in revenue, and I've taught over 130 mentees on a one-on-one basis how to build a business from scratch all the way to 6 and 7 figures. Throughout this journey, I've faced 4 primary challenges that I just didn't anticipate. I didn't know I was going to face these challenges, and if I did know actually how to solve these challenges, I would have been more successful much faster. And so throughout these videos, I'm going to share with you those 4 challenges, the solutions to these challenges and how I overcame them, and most importantly, how you can become successful in e-commerce and build your business the right way. So let's get into it. So the first challenge that I actually personally faced around 1 year into my e-commerce journey was to do with payment processes. As you're scaling and growing your e-commerce store, you're going to have a high volume of transactions or money come in every single day. And to receive this money, you're going to be using payment processors. The 3 payment processors that we use would be PayPal. So you use PayPal to take funds, or Shopify payments, or even Klarna, which is a finance provider. When you're just starting out, these finance providers and processes, they're going to be watching you like a hawk to ensure that customers are getting a brilliant experience and they're happy. Now, if customers are not happy, these payment processors are allowed to freeze your funds or even to ban you from using their payment processing service. So to avoid taking cash flow hits due to payment processors, you need to make sure that you have backup suppliers. So if one of your suppliers, for example, drops the product quality or shipping times get much longer, you can quickly pivot to a new supplier to ensure that no matter what happens to your supplier, your backup is there to ensure your customers are happy. It's also very important that as you grow your business and as you grow the sales volume, your customer service grows as well. The last thing you want to do is have the same level of customer service with triple the sales. Another solution to prevent payment processors freezing your funds would be to make sure that the product you're selling is actually delivering true value to your customers, and that you're delivering on the promises that you tell your customers within your marketing and within your website. If you do these 3 things, you won't have any issues whatsoever with payment processors, and you'll avoid mistakes that I made having 25 grand frozen with PayPal in my first year in e-commerce business, which massively bottlenecked my growth. The second challenge that I faced throughout my e-commerce journey was to do with taxes and accounting. As with any business, you're going to have to pay taxes. It's just the world we live in. And as you grow your income, the taxes that you have to pay will increase. And it's very, very important to be aware of what taxes you need to pay depending on the country that you're in. So where I'm from in the UK, for example, we have VAT, which is basically where 20% of all of your total sales have to go to the government, regardless of how much profit you make. You have to pay corporation tax, which is the business's tax, and also personal income tax. In terms of how you can avoid having taxes and accounting and VAT as a big challenge, the first thing is when you do reach a point where you need an accountant, because you will as you grow your income and you expand as an entrepreneur, to make sure to hire a qualified accountant who truly does deliver on the service that he says he'll deliver on. It's important to put a certain amount of money aside for taxes, okay, even before you have to pay them. For example, once you reach the VAT threshold in the UK, which is £90,000 per year in sales, once you reach that point, you'll qualify for VAT, which is where 20% of your sales have to go to the government. And you need to make sure that 20% of your revenue you put aside to allow for that tax. There are certain ways where you can claim back VAT and pay less, but just from a basic level, putting 20% aside is a great solution. Also about maintaining strong communication with your accountant when you are at that stage. It's very important to always be organized financially, always be aware of what your outgoings are on a monthly basis, what your incoming is on a monthly basis, and measure your profit over time, okay? So you can always look back and compare and just maintain a lot of organization from a numerical perspective. And really the best solution to taxes is to earn more, because you have more money and you can live a better life. Taxes become less of a worry anyway because you're earning lots of money. The third challenge that I faced was more of a surprise, and it's understanding that your sales and your profitability is going to fluctuate throughout the year. And as an entrepreneur, your income will not be fixed. You'll have amazing months that can change your life. But on the other hand, you'll have months which are a little bit worse than you expected. And this is perfectly normal. As an entrepreneur, your income will not just be a steady rise up. There'll be peaks and there'll be troughs. And what you need to do is take advantage of the fruitful and profitable periods. So in e-commerce, when we're selling to consumers, the most profitable period of the year is in Q4. So it's the last 3 months of the year. This is when we have Black Friday. This is where we have Christmas. And if you're not prepared for Q4, when consumer spending is at an all-time high, and you just see it as any other time of year, you're not going to make as much money as you could have during that period of time. You need to, as an entrepreneur, have the ability to capitalize on opportunities when they present themselves. On the other hand, there'll be certain periods of the year which are slightly slower, depending on the product. So in e-commerce, typically March, April, June can be an area where consumer spending is slightly lower. Yes, of course, you can still make lots of money during this period of time, but it's a period of time where you might want to reduce your investment into advertising and increase your investment into improving the customer experience or improving the product, to prepare for that busy time. So when the busy time does come, your consumers are happy, they come back to you more often, and overall you make more profit. So be very aware as an entrepreneur that your income will not be linear, it will be up and down. Make sure you make as much money as possible through those busy periods. The fourth challenge that I faced in my e-commerce journey was the fact that I built a store, but it was a very, very easy product to launch, and it was very, very successful. But because it was an easy product to launch and it was a low barrier to entry, competition flew into the market as soon as they saw my store doing very well and successfully. And because I didn't invest the profits back into the business and build a competitive advantage, basically it became saturated very, very fast. And it was much more hard for me to stand out and make myself unique because I didn't use the funds to invest into the product to actually make it unique, make it harder for competition to come in and copy you. And a lot of stores in e-commerce will get copied, okay? And this is why, very important, always be progressing, moving forwards and constantly improving your business, even if it's just 1% every single day. And work on building what we call a moat, which is basically a competitive advantage over other brands. Whether it be you speaking to a specific target audience in your marketing in a unique way, or having branding or a website which is much higher quality than all of your competition, or looking into the manufacturing of the product and negotiating with suppliers so you have better costs, so your profit margins are higher, and so you can spend more on ads and on your marketing than all of your competition because you've got that competitive advantage being cheaper unit costs. Or alternatively, have a look into the product and see if you can actually turn this product into a unique custom product that only your brand sells. Building my e-commerce business, it changed my whole life forever, but it wasn't easy. E-commerce is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a real business with real results. And if you're willing to overcome challenges, regardless of how many you face, and commit to the process of never-ending improvement, you can completely change every aspect of your financial life forever. And if you want to learn more about how myself and our team can potentially assist you through the process of building your e-commerce business so you can become financially free, simply hit the link in the description to my Instagram, shoot me a message with the word ECom. I'm excited for your message. Let's build an empire.